Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. This is a Cash Gun AC Sports Report, and I wanted to talk to you guys about a quick trade that went down today. I think it's going to go relatively not talked about, but I think that's a mistake because today the Baltimore Ravens acquired Lee Evans, the wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills, for a 4th-round pick in next year's draft. And I mean, on the surface, you say this guy had a down year last year, and you know, he'll bring somewhat of an impact, but not a huge one. I think that might be a mistake. He's a tall receiver, and I think a lot of Bills fans already have asked me, you know, why they trade this guy. They're trying to build up a quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they're getting rid of his weapons. Well, I think the simplest way to put it is he's a number 1 receiver on a bad team, which the Bills are, whether they like it or not. The Bills are a bad team, and I think that they were deciding that they wanted to go in the Stevie Johnson direction because he had better chemistry last season with Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I think that they said, we're going to move on from Lee Evans. I mean, maybe he said, I want to go to a contender. Maybe he said, if I'm not going to be a number 1 anymore, I want to go to a place where I'm going to win and not be a number 1. So, I mean, there's lots of possible scenarios to why they traded him. I never understood, though, why wide receivers had such low values on the trade market. I mean, how Randy Moss was worth a 4th-round pick when he went from the Raiders to the Patriots, and then he had the 2nd-best wide receiver season of all time, second to Jerry Rice's 1987 season, where he caught 22 touchdowns in 12 games or something like that. So there were a lot, or maybe it wasn't 87. It was one of the strike years, but there's a lot of people that have asked me that, and I think that that's basically the conclusion you come to. As far as the Ravens, I think this is a tremendous move. They lose Derek Mason. Well, I mean, they cut him, and he went to the Jets. So now they're with Anquan Boldin, and they were kind of looking for that second target around for Joe Flacco, and they got it today in Lee Evans. Lee Evans is a big, tall receiver. Career-wise, stats-wise, he's been inconsistent in certain seasons, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's had different quarterbacks thrown to him, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's had bad quarterbacks. I mean, J.P. Lossman, the list goes on for this team. Trent, whatever that guy's name is, I think it was Trent. It was something with a T. He was like a 4th-round pick the other year, but I mean, he's had seasons of 843, 743, 1,292, 849, 1,017, and then the last 2 seasons, his numbers just... It's really kind of shown that he has not had great chemistry with Ryan Fitzpatrick and the last quarterback they had there, whose name continues to slip my mind, because the last 2 seasons he's gone from having 63 catches and 1,017 yards in 08 to 09 having 44 catches with 612 yards, and then last season having 37 catches with 578 yards. So, I mean, basically, he hasn't been too consistent. I think going to a place where you have a pretty solid quarterback in Joe Flacco is certainly going to help him. But I think what this move does is it really puts the pressure on Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's now been to the playoffs 3 times in 3 years, and the Ravens have been successful in the playoffs, but not to the level they would have liked to be. So, certainly I think that they're going to have to go out and take that next step this year, or a lot of people are really going to begin to question whether Joe Flacco is a guy like a Tony Romo, or I don't want to say Donovan McNabb, because Donovan McNabb's made it a lot farther than Joe Flacco, but a guy like a Tony Romo who's a very good regular season quarterback, but then once it comes to the playoffs, is not going to carry you to a Super Bowl. So we're going to have to see, but Lee Evans certainly puts him in a position where he's going to have that on him, but he's going to have a better chance to get that off of his back. So hopefully for him, he's able to do that. I'm Tim. Find us on Twitter, CashLineAC. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you later.